Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the wonderful world of Absurd Arena. Now today's episode isn't on a specific continent or group of animals, but an entire evolutionary phenomenon called convergent evolution. And we'll be looking at some of the goofy examples of that. So what is convergent evolution? So here is a good modern day example. Even if it is a bit outdated, it still holds up pretty well. So basically, different organisms and different species, different genera, evolve traits similar to another species. So for example, we have flying animals. We have falcons, which are birds, which are technically therefore theropods, which are therefore coelurosaurs, which are therefore theropods, which are therefore saurischians, which are therefore dinosaurs. Then bats, which are mammals, which are now synapsids, and pterosaurs, which are, technically speaking, they're closely related to the falcon, but they're not dinosaurs themselves. Another example is the streamlined appearance of sharks. Specifically, this looks like a Carcara form, great white. Cetaceans like dolphins and porpoises, and the sauropterygians, which are more closely related to turtles. The ichthyosaurs, which all look very similar. In fact, I think once the ichthyosaurs went extinct, there were a group of plesiosaurs called the pelicotalids, which would fill a similar niche. It's basically ecological niches also play a really good role in convergent evolution. Say one group of animal goes extinct. So let's give a good example of convergent evolution. So let's say gonna take this from Billiam's idea. Let's say that a wolf is born with this deformity. Basically, its front legs are shorter than its back legs. It might have trouble running, since it's not built to hold its back legs that well. Even though sometimes they might stand up, but this is just an example, which might not hold up, but just hear me out. Actually, I'm going to use a different example. So let's say, so dolphins decide to go bye-bye. It's sad, I know. But just imagine. And imagine, and they leave this whole wide variety of food that they won't eat. They won't eat because they went extinct. So let's say a fish evolves a similar body structure similar to a dolphin. Let's use barracudas as an example. They use this ecological niche similar to dolphins, and then boom, barrafins. It's not a good example, but we'll be seeing some along the way. So, evolution of taking flight. We have 4 examples here. Yes, I know I edited this dude on there, but we have the eastern bluebird, which is a theropod dinosaur avian. What I assume to be Patinosaurus, which is a pterosaur. the Samoan flying fox, which is a bat. Which I'm pretty sure bats are the only flying mammals. Which in the Neocene, there's a group of bats which are flightless. They're basically the stereotypical spec evo flightless bats called crakes or Vespivoridae. And a neo-archosaur, which the Patinosaurus and eastern bluebird would be archaeoarchosaurs in the Neocene classification, as Archosauria split up into the archaeoarchosaurs, which are crocodilians, avametatarsalins, or no, crocodilians, the Archelosauria, and the dinosaurs, and also pterosaurs. Forgot to mention them. And the neo-archosaurs, which are the pseudotheropods, the now classified sea butterflies, and the Ariers, which I did an entire episode on them. And they're a really, really good example of convergent evolution. Then we have the Australian amphitheater, Heliodraco aeropteryx, which translates to airfinger. Aeropteryx translates to airfinger, and Heliodraco translates to sun dragon. Though now I know that arrow means like air, I should have named the genus Aerodraco, air dragon. This is also could be seen in true dragons, the Pteradraco, which amphitheaters are closely related to. So this is a pretty good example of taking flight, as the amphitheaters convergently evolved alongside pterosaurs, Neocene pterosaurs, to develop wings similar to pterosaurs. True dragons also kind of have these wings, but they can't fly. Smaller ones can glide, but they can't. They don't have true flight, unlike the amphitheaters. And a good way to tell the difference is amphitheater jaws. Instead of having toothless beaks, they have teeth. There are some pterosaurs with teeth, but these amphitheaters usually have longer tails, which I now realize might not help them. So let's start off with our goofy examples, Spinosaurid ripoffs. So y'all know, most of you should know what Austroraptor is. It's a dromaeosaurid from South America. I can't believe I gotta do research when talking about my own creatures. I just gotta make sure. Austroraptor lived in the Campanian and Maastrichtian age of the late Cretaceous period in Argentina. Why is it showing me Australovenator? Anyways, Neocene terms of classification, it is a basal ichthyoraptorid. The Austroraptor's long snoot helps it with capturing slippery prey like fish. And since in the Neocene, dinosaurs decided, nope, I'm not going extinct today, screw you. It makes sense for Austroraptor to kind of, I guess, evolve more. And an entirely new group called the Ichthyoraptorids is born. New Ichthyoraptorids, due to their environment, and for, I guess, my own convenience, because I don't think I can animate feathers. Even if I can, it's going to be extremely difficult. These guys are more kind of built like Spinosaurids, but kept the Dromaeosaurids, sickle claws. So here we have three Ichthyoraptorids, which might not be actual size. Some might be a bit bigger than what they're supposed to be. So, for example, we have an Eocene Spinosaurid Raptorosaurus oviophagus, the egg-eating robber lizard, which is an actual Spinosaurid. Then we have Pinocchiraptor ninsula, the Pinocchio thief, Ichthyotyrannus, the fish tyrant, which that sail is just there because scuromorph gene modification. In real life, it wouldn't have had that sail. And the largest of the dromaeosaurids, at least the Neoscene. Hang on. Oh, cool. Mythology guy made a mythical inaccuracy in Clash of the Titans. I'm definitely going to consider checking that out. I'll have to check that out. Anyways, we have the Spinosaurus-sized Terravenator, which is largest of the Ichthyoraptors and the largest of the Neoscene dromaeosaurids. Yes, I know I use a Coeliophysis skeletal for it, though it kind of looks like a dromaeosaur. Don't yell at me in the comments. Anyways, you can see these guys' snoots. These guys' heads kind of look a bit like Spinosaurids. They're more streamlined and more helpful for capturing fish. However, Terravenator here is big enough to take down larger prey. And of course, just because they're more built for snatching poor fish out of the water, that doesn't mean they're not gonna hunt other animals. This guy's big enough to take down other dinosaurs. Heck, I could see Spinosaurids kind of being hypocarnivores like bears, which I'd love to see. A depiction of a Spinosaurid eating plants like a bear. Anyways, you wouldn't really want to encounter these guys. Although they're not going to consider you a food source, uh, they can be a bit dangerous. Next up, bipedalism. Basically, when an animal becomes bipedal, and these guys basically convergently evolved alongside theropod dinosaurs. So we have the North American Wendigo, which is a canid, Canis thanatosus, or the death dog, which I think kind of sounds cool. And these guys build kind of makes them a bit quicker. The Lamia from Neoscene Africa, which is a monitor lizard. There are a lot of bipedal Miocene monitor lizards. You have North American Varanotyrannus, the uh, the South American giant poltergeist, and now the Lamia, which I actually kind of cooked up this guy a long time ago, actually. And this one is more of a heavily built ambush predator than a swift pursuit one. And then, of course, I had to throw in a dragon. The wyvern, or the white dragon from Canada, which should have feathers. You can see these guys kind of resemble theropods, but they are not. This is a synapsid, a squamate, and a neoarchosaur, or pseudotheropod, which I guess kind of in the name. Pseudotheropod literally means like a false beast foot, like a false theropod. Which, given now to think about it, all dragons are pseudotheropods. Neocene wise, at least. However, some of these bipedal theropod mimics are venomous. So the Thalamia and White Dragon, they're both venomous. Which, of course, wyverns are known for being some of the most venomous dragons. Literally all wyvern species are venomous. And of course, we all know monitor lizards are venomous. I don't need to tell you that they're not venomous. They're venomous. The Lamia, all the bipedal monitor lizards in the Nicene actually belong to their own little subgenus called, I think, I'm gonna have to come up with a name. How's it? Bipodosaurus, the two-foot lizards, as they stand in there on two legs. They're bipedal. I don't need to tell you what bipedal means. So, anyways, these guys are goofy. They're still dangerous. I don't need to tell you that you shouldn't go up to a wolf, especially if it stands on two legs. I definitely don't need to tell you that you shouldn't go up to a monitor lizard that's the size of a human. You know how dangerous Komodo dragons are? I know this isn't as big, but still don't go up to one. And of course, I guess you don't have to worry about these guys because they never existed. Wyverns never existed. But wolves and monitor lizards do exist, and some get big. Next group set of examples is a very good one, which are aquatic creatures, which all serve different niches. We have the deep sea legless sea tweezer, or Ichthyodactylus apodus, which means the no-legged fish finger, which kind of resembles an eel or a snake, or kind of like a pipefish. Which these guys get their name from the way their head is shaped. This is a deep sea species. The swimming katydid from Miocene Africa, which plays a similar role to aquatic species of beetles, true bugs. And since it's a predatory katydid, it's got those spiky legs. And those legs are basically used to act as a cage. What katydids do when they're hunting is they'll use those front pair of legs to basically grab their prey and hold them there. Some of these katydids have spikes sharp enough to draw blood. And they basically use these legs to act as a cage. So yeah, and they have the oceanic manda, which is a dragon. There are three families of dragons. There's the Draconidae, which are the proto-wyverns, true wyverns, true dragons, and empatheres. The Suchodraconidae, which includes two extinct groups, and I think three extant groups. The drakes, the griffins, the tatsel worms, and then the extinct kurans and hippogriffs, and the Ophista Draconidae, which are basically the aquatic dragons, which includes the worms, sea serpents, lungs, and the mandas. Which mandas kind of fill a similar role to sharks, even though in the Neocene sharks are still around. Hold on. This guy actually appeared in an Absurd Arena video. Don't worry, these guys will soon. And last, up here on this page, we have the Conrit, which I'm not even sure what it could have convergently evolved to resemble. These are essentially cetacean-sized hymenopterans, which is the group that bees, wasps, ants, and sawflies belong to. I guess now cornrits. I guess these guys kind of resemble, like, I guess this would be more of an example of divergent evolution. Basically, when a group of animals related to each other develop traits that aren't very similar to each other. I know more examples of convergent evolution than divergent. Anyways, you would not want to get bitten by a cormorant. Though they mainly hunt things like cephalopods. Their name literally means squid hunter. And their goofy example is the Australian Thylacospinus, or in Absurd Arena it'll be known as just Platypus spinosaur, which, what do you think? There's also the Australian Grim, which is a weasel that resembles a platypus. This is, I guess, a better example of that. I'm going to have a hard time using it because I think this is just one stick figure. Next up, wait, did I skip? Oh, nope, I think this is our last page. This will be more of a short episode. Anyways, mammals. So we have the crocodile-like Prognathosaurus from South America. Which is a cetacean, specifically a dolphin, and again it resembles a crocodile, and it's a saber tooth as well. The theropod-like Jersey Devil and Periton, which are uh, artiodactylids or even-toed ungulates. Jersey Devil is more related to goats, and the Chupacabra, I think it's more like related to the Chupacabranae. Not sure. The Periton is just a deer, but it's not your average uh, deer. Again, these claws are just modified hooves. We have the Kitsune from the EFC in Japan, which is kind of like a Gorgonopsid in terms of build, and again, it's another saber tooth. These guys more resemble, yeah, again, Gorgonopsids. And in the Oviophagocetus from Neosine Africa, which is a cetacean. Its name literally translates to egg-eating whale. And basically kind of developed a beak similar to birds. And these guys look kind of silly. And I guess it takes the word beaked whale a little too literally. Since I feel like this episode is a bit short, why not give us... I would have included areas, but we did an entire episode on those. But those are really good examples of convergent evolution. I guess I could. Here's another example. We have the dolphin area, which I think we featured in that area episode. The Ocaria, which is a squamate. It kind of resembles a Hesperornithid. What are some other examples? What is that guy called? The dolphin-like Akugio, which is a pliosaur. The Namazu, which is a catfish that evolved to be like lungfish. I should have included those. We have the Truchinabake, which are basically a tunicate that can float. And I think that's a Eurypter. Oh, African crocodile seal. Resembling, it's filling a role similar to crocodiles. The Achilophonius, which resembles, I guess, kind of like more of like a Pseudotsuchian. Hadrosaur, Dromea rapax, filling a role similar to theropods. Saurocheles, an ankylosaur, filling a role of a sauropod. Gigantophonius, kind of similar to Achilophonius. More of a monitor lizard-like bellysaur, and a plesiosaur-like ornithominid. So this was just a simple, more of a quick episode that I just wanted to do. So yeah, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and yeah.